Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, and you're watching Perfect Timepiece. Today, we are going to be talking about my top picks for Rolex watches. I have my computer down below, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at, to make sure I don't miss anything for you guys. Now, before I hop in straight into the watches, you guys might be saying like, oh yeah, Josh, you can't afford a Rolex. You're right about that. You might be saying, Josh, if you had the money to afford a Rolex, you wouldn't buy one, and you guys got it there. I wouldn't buy one. So this is my list of top 5, and I'm gonna get into the list really quickly. But even if I had like $1 million or $10 million, I really don't think I would spend my own money on these watches, just because they are very incredibly priced. I might buy one, for myself. But I don't think I would ever see a future of, that has me and all of these 5 watches together. So if you're holding your breath for that, I'm sorry and I apologize. The first watch, and I've talked about this before, it's the watch that kind of got me into watches. This, of course, is the Rolex Submariner. Now, the type that I picked is the Rolex Submariner without a date, or without that, what do they call it, like the little glass thing that magnifies the date. Anyway, I'm not really a big fan of, sapphire crystals that have any curvature or whatever that eye is that magnifies the date on the other Submariner models. So I picked the 4-line chronometer Submariner without a date. I think it's just, and I picked it in all black. And I think that's the only way that they offer the one without a date, is in all black. I think, the black can be dressed down to any occasion, but it would also look very good in a kind of more business meeting. So honestly, I think this is kind of like the perfect one. If you had to live with one watch for the rest of your life, which one would it be? In my opinion, probably a Rolex Submariner, just because it can kind of be dressed down. It can be worn out, for hanging out with friends. It could be worn, in a really important business meeting. But I'm going to move on because you guys are probably done hearing me talk about the Submariner. So up next we have the Rolex Daytona. This is the one with the white face, and maybe I'll find some really nice pictures of this watch to put up for you guys. It is incredibly beautiful. I've seen pictures of this watch on Instagram, so now's a good time to plug my Instagram. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, if you guys have an Instagram account, go follow me, and I post pictures up there, I think every day, sometimes multiple times a day, of different watches that I'm reviewing. But back to the Rolex Daytona. I just think it's a really good looking watch. I think it is a contender for, if you had to live with one watch for the rest of your life. I think this is one that I could see a valid argument for picking this watch. It does have that chronograph function, which, I'm reviewing Christopher Ward chronograph at the moment, and I'm finding that the timing functionality is particularly useful. It's way better than pulling out your phone and trying to time something. Because, everybody says, like, why do you need a watch? You can just look at your phone. And I'm like, but you have to pull out your phone. Anyway, My pockets are small. It's hard to pull out my phone. I just check my wrist. I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the world is doing. Everybody should have a watch. Okay, so the next one is the Rolex Milgauss. Now, or Milgauss, however you pronounce it. I always, because it's after Gauss, right? The unit of measurement and the scientist that has to do with electronics. I think it's a measurement for magnetism, I believe. Gauss. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I did. I studied electronics in college. I'm still in college, and I don't remember what a Gauss is, or a Gauss, or I think it's Gauss, actually. Anyway, long story short, I struggled in college through all of that electronic stuff, and honestly, if I were going to buy any of these watches for myself, I think I'd probably buy the Milgauss because, graduating college, getting past all of that electrical work, as that's part of my major. I do like the kind of lightning bolt second hand on this watch. I do think it is very, very beautiful. Now, whatever I get, my girlfriend Joanna is going to have to approve. She might not approve of this. If she's watching, she'll have to let me know if she approves of this watch. But that pretty much wraps it up for the Milgauss. Like little background on me, guys. A little bit of a background on me. Yeah, those electronics classes were so bad. So bad. So I definitely deserve something. If I'm going to treat myself, I might as well make it mean something. Okay, so up next we have the Rolex Explorer 2. This is the new version. I used to be a really big fan of the old version with the different GMT hand, with the red, very skinny GMT hand. But as I have grown to, I've grown to appreciate the orange on the Explorer 2 and kind of this thicker, definitely easier to see orange hand that they have on the newer model. And I haven't myself used a GMT watch yet. Maybe sometime this year I'll get a chance to expose myself to a GMT piece. But yeah, I think that this is a very clean and classy looking watch. Generally, I don't like that day wheel, kind of the glass thing that we were talking about earlier. And I'm not a huge fan of watches that have more than 3 hands most of the time. So that's probably why I haven't experienced a GMT. But I do think that they make it work on this watch, and I do think that it is clean. Now, up next, we have one that's kind of like, I could live without this watch. This is the Rolex Dayjust 41 millimeters in two-tone. This watch, I like the look, I like the aesthetic and look of this watch. I'm not a huge fan, I love and I hate this watch, I guess is what I'm trying to say. For me, it feels like a really fat, old, like white guy who's in the mob might wear this watch. That's my opinion. If you own this watch, like I'm really not trying to say anything bad about you. I do appreciate the beauty of the piece, but that's just the impression that I get from it. It feels very like mob-like and, maybe like 80s era. But that's like my uninformed opinion. So if you want to like rage in the comments and tell me that I'm dumb, then I will definitely take that. That's probably true. So that pretty much wraps it up. I did order them, I put the one that I wanted most in the beginning, and then I put the ones that I wanted least in the end, so they are kind of in order that way. I hope that this was entertaining, probably not very informative considering I didn't know what the magnifying glass on the actual glass is. I think it's the Cyclops, but I feel dumb. Like, I would feel dumb if it's not the Cyclops. But yeah, so it definitely wasn't informative. This was kind of thrown together at the last minute. But I hope that it was entertaining, or at least got you thinking about some of the Rolex watches that you could be purchasing for yourself this year. Again, my name is Josh. I would like to thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next time, guys. Bye.